this is James and I'm here with the Oracle Outlook for the week starting September the 11th, 2017. This week I wanted to work with Lenormand again because just yesterday I got a new Lenormand deck in the mail. So the deck that's going to be assisting me for this week's reading is the Ensslin and Leiblen, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, Lenormand. The beautiful thing about this deck is a reproduction of a deck that was, I guess, first printed in the 1800s, if I have the history correct of it. And I came across it on a website that produces classic or reproduces classic Lenormand decks. The interesting thing about this, and you'll see this in the video when the cards are being displayed on screen, is that instead of playing card inserts, they have the face cards like the kings, queens, and jacks, but you'll find them as insets of people, so it doesn't make a distinction as to queen of clubs or the queen of hearts or that kind of thing that you see in Lenormand cards today. And the pip cards, which would be the numbered playing cards, are these interesting images that look like either calligraphy, or if you're into magic, they look like sigils. So, but you'll see them when I put the cards on screen. So, but they were so fascinating when I saw it. I'm like, ooh, I have to have those. So, again, the deck came last night. So I did my initial reading for it because when I work with a new deck of cards, I always do kind of like an introduction kind of reading, like what's our relationship going to be like. So now that I've done that, I'm very eager to use it for this week's Oracle Outlook. So again, this is the Ensslin and Leiblen Lenormand. I will put information about it in the description box below. So I have the cards on the table, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck. And just as I do for every one of these weekly readings, I'm sticking with my basic intention and question, which is what do we need to know for the week ahead? Feeling that's good, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. Fan the cards out. And now I'm picking 5, because when I work with Lenormand, I always do a line of 5. We have one more card to pick. There we go. So I have the 5 cards selected, and I'm going to go to the middle card. When I work with a line of 5, I always look to the middle card first as the central issue or something that we're being asked to focus on for the week ahead. So here we have the dog card. So dog is a card that can represent a friend, it could represent companion, it could represent a partner. So for some of us, we're being asked to focus on our friendships, either with a particular friend or just friendships overall. Could be, if you're attached, if you have a partner or companion, then you're focusing on that primary friendship. If that doesn't resonate with you, then this card can also be about issues dealing with being helpful, being supportive, being loyal. Those are all characteristics or traits that I assign to dog, or that you're going to be of some assistance to someone around you. Now that could be, you may be on the giving end of assistance, meaning like you'll give assistance to somebody else, or you could be on the receiving end. Now it's very interesting. So the dog is looking to my left, so the cards that are facing, that the dog is looking at, on the left-hand side of the line will be very interesting, because that could be where we're being asked to put that kind of energy, that help, that support, that loyalty, trust even. This is a card of trust, being trusting or trustworthy. So there's all elements with dog. But this could be about a particular friendship, partnership, companionship. So that is dog. And so, as you know, that Lenormand is best read in pairs and combinations. So we need to take a look at the surrounding cards to see how they're going to influence and inform us more about this central issue. So looking at the cards starting on the far left, we have sun card. I like the sun on this card. So we have the sun card starting out the line. In between sun and dog, oh, this is interesting, we have the gentleman, okay? And then on the other side of dog, we have the key. And then rounding out the line, we have the clasped hands. So now that I have this card in my hand, and I didn't mention this when I talked about the deck in terms of its characteristics in the intro, there are a couple of cards that are not in what we now call the traditional Lenormand deck. This is one of them. So heart is not in the deck, and instead of heart, we have clasped hands. So, and I had a feeling that this card was going to show up because I was getting, seeing the image of this card over and again, and considering how I would talk about it if it were to show up in the line. So here we go. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. So if you're no stranger to when I do a line of 5, you know that I always go one step out and I look at the cards that are immediately flanking the center card first. So on the left of dog, we have gentleman. So gentleman is a card that can represent a man, right? And so if you're watching this video, if you're a woman, then the gentleman card could be a man who is significant to you. I'm playing on the word significator because this is a significator card. So a man who has a significant role in either the events that are showing up for you this week or your life, generally speaking. And that would make sense if we go with the idea that dog could represent a partner or a companion, right? So there's that. If you're a man watching this video, gentleman would be describing you. So I'm always very intrigued when gentleman shows up because even though I'm doing the readings for you, me as a reader, they always have a message for me as well. And so it's always more importantly the case when the gentleman card shows up. So there's that. So again, pairing gentleman and dog. If we take the cards and we pair them up, the dog is facing the gentleman card. So this could be, now Lenormand is also very literal, so this could be a man and his dog, and dog would be an actual dog or a domesticated kind of animal, right? A pet. So there's that. It could also be a man who's friendly if we use dog as a descriptor of the man card, right? So this could be a friendly man, a helpful man, a supportive man, a man who's faithful, a man who's trustworthy, that kind of thing. It could also be a friendship with a man, or a partnership with a man, or a companionship with a man. Those are all different ways of looking at the pairing of dog and gentleman. So now I talked about dog facing the man. So this could be that whole idea about, there could be a focus on a friendship, and with that, one friend, the dog, is helping another friend out because they're facing each other. So there could be that. So that would be the dog offering help or assistance to the man. And then the man would be on the receiving end of that, right? So this would be the giving and this would be the receiving. So there's that kind of interplay here with the two cards. Now if we go on the other side of dog, we have key. Key for me is a card that can represent something important. I tend to look at this card as something important, something certain, something vital, right? Key can also be an answer or a solution. So it could be that this is an important, if we go with the fact that dog and key make a pair, then this could be an important friendship, could be an important companionship, could be an important partnership, right? Going with the idea that key represents something important, right? It could also be too that, there was an answer provided by the dog because, again, the dog is not facing the key card. So it could be an answer that the friend, partner, companion has for the man, right? And it's important, it's an answer or solution, it's help, all those kinds of things. So it could be, I'm looking at this and saying, there may be a focus or a concentration with an important friendship, partnership, companionship in which that one party is going to provide an answer or solution to the other party. So I'm seeing that as possibilities with key on the other side of dog. Now if we pair key and man, right, so now the man is facing the key card, so he receives the answer, right, because it's coming up, he's facing it. So it's an answer solution he's going to be receiving in the near future. And with dog in the middle, it could be saying too, it's an answer he can trust. It's an answer that's going to be helpful. Those kinds of things. But I'm seeing this as saying that he's going to be on the receiving end of an important, vital answer or solution to a possible problem or challenge. So there's that. Now, if we go on the outer cards, here we have the Sun card. And I told you how I think the Sun is really cute on this card. I like this card. So Sun is like one of the best cards in the deck. So this is a card that can represent success. It can represent confidence. It can represent illumination, because you get the idea of like the sun brightens everything up. And when the sun is out, you can see everything so clearly. So that's another aspect of this card. It could be, clarification, right? Something of that nature. But I usually go with confidence and success with this card. Now, Sun is also about like the daytime. The sun is up during the day, so this could be day or daytime or something daily, right? So I'm looking at that. So it could be, if we go with the idea that the gentleman has the Sun card behind him, so this could be something that he's been successful with in the past, or that maybe he needs some sort of confidence, and this answer solution, talking about the key, is going to give him the key to success. If we pair the two, I'm looking at that, like the key to success or the key to confidence, right? And it could come through, again, through this partnership, this companionship, this friendship. But Sun is all about success. Going on the other end, we have the clasped hands. So now the clasped hands is a card that can represent an introduction. If you go with the idea that the people look like they're shaking hands, right? So that's about an introduction, like, people introducing themselves, and what was the first thing we do? 9 times out of 10, we shake their hand, right? So it could be about an introduction. It could also be about an agreement, where, some sort of contract or deal is struck, and, that I'm seeing that expression in my hand, let's shake on it, kind of thing. So there's that. But this card is about an introduction, could be about a meeting, an agreement, that kind of thing. So I see that with the clasped hands. Now, if we take clasped hands and key, key is the card that's closest to it in the line, so we had, let me make sure I do this right. Right. So here we go. So we had key, and then we had clasped hands. So if this card is about agreement, then the key would be, an important agreement, a vital agreement, something of that nature. It could be, an answer or solution to some type of agreement, if we pair the two cards together. So those are some possibilities. I'm going to suggest, with dog being before these cards, it could be like the dog, the friend, the partner, the companion, is how this important introduction is made, how this important agreement is made, that kind of thing. Like the dog is the central party, or the central role in that this week. So I'm seeing that with key and clasped hands. And then if we take pairing of Sun and clasped hands, here we have, an agreement, success with an agreement. If we go with this card being the first card, Sun is about success or confidence, and it's with an agreement. So I'm seeing this as success with an agreement, or confidence regarding an agreement or an introduction, or, a day where an introduction or a meeting or an agreement is made. So I'm seeing that as possibilities. So now let's take a look and wrap up by summing up the cards. So again, opening the lineup, we have Sun. Sun is a card that talks about success and confidence. It can represent something being clarified, something being illuminated, right? It's all about whatever the energy is. It's about how can we have a positive outlook, looking on the bright side, that kind of thing. Then we have Gentleman. Gentleman is a card that just describes a man. So it could be a man who's playing a significant role in the situation, right? And then we move on to Dog. And then Dog, as the center card, could be about help, support, assistance that's being given to a man this week. How can we, for the expression in my head is coming, like, how can we help a brother out? So it could be like a help, support, and assistance is being given to a man, right? And it's too, because it's going to help him with his either being successful or his confidence. So I'm seeing that. Then we move on to key. Key represents an answer, a solution to a problem. Since the dog card comes before that, it's making me feel like the friend, the partner, the companion has the answer or solution, and that's what he's providing to the other person this week. And it makes me feel like it's something important and it's something vital. And then, rounding out the line, we have the clasp hand. So this is a card about an agreement. This is a card about an introduction being made. This is a card about, a meeting of some kind, coming to some form of agreement. And again, it's making me feel like whatever the introduction is, whatever the meeting is about, whatever the agreement is, it on some level is very important, with key being the card that comes before that. So on that note, I will end and wrap up this week's Oracle Outlook. I'm Jameson Mitchell, and as I close, I'd like to thank you for sharing space here with me for this week's reading, and I look forward to sharing the same space with you again in our next video reading together. So until then, I'm hoping that you have a wonderful day, and I'm hoping that you have a wonderful week. Take care.